Yep. What's up, guys? We are back again, making agents great again. And I got Will Rojas, one of my agent partners in Central Florida, man. And I can tell you, I want to talk about that with you, Will, because I was having a conversation with a real estate agent in Pensacola and how he was thinking big picture, man. We're going to talk about your Central Florida YouTube channel. But when I got introduce you guys to Will, again, one of my agent partners in Orlando, Florida. Just before we got on this call, man, we were talking a little bit and about your business. And man, tell everybody who you are, because we got a lot of great notes, and I want everybody to know who you are and why LPT has literally 2x your business.
Right. We'll start from the beginning. So when I jumped into this business, actually before this business, I was in sales for bicycles, like really high-end bicycles.
Nice.
And from there, I decided I wanted to make a change in my life. So I saw a lot of people around me, especially my brother-in-law, doing really successful in real estate. I jumped into marketing and business development for a property management company. And then from there, he wouldn't let me do production because I guess I was getting paid a salary. So
Yep.
I jumped into production around 2020 when things were really, really hot. The end of 2020. So then at that time, my wife was having a kid, and I just went for it. And ever since then, everything's been great. First company I went to, very similar to LPT, and I was there for a year, and then I switched over to this company. So,
well, man. So what what stood out to you? I know, yeah, you were at the same former company together. I didn't know you then, but what made you stand? What stood? Why? I guess I should say, why did you choose LPT Realty compared to where you were at? Anything in particular that stood out to you?
there was a couple of things. I mean, obviously the model called me. Not only that, I deal a lot with heavy in listings and getting houses listed on the market. And there was a couple of tools that were provided that would help me double or maybe even triple my business that I never even tapped in before. And so I saw that a great value. Apart from that, it gave me the opportunity to work with people that didn't want to work with me at the other company for certain reasons, whether it was a monthly fee or maybe the splits weren't in their favor or their team's favor. The person I'm talking about is my brother-in-law. We were able to kind of merge together finally after years of fighting each other. Of join me, no, you join me, no, you come with me, you come
Right.
with me.
Yep.
So then in the end, I told him December, we were hanging out at Christmas, and I said, I'm leaving. I'm going to this company. It's brand new. I didn't think I was going to do it. I didn't think anything of it. It was there was a lot of things that I didn't know about it until I actually looked into it. And ultimately my eyes lit up, my eyes opened up, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like,
Yep.
this is going to be a game changer to the game changer. That's basically how it happened.
Yeah, totally, man. It's that I think we've coined the phrase disrupting the disruptors, and it's funny. It's true, and and it's always, we were saying it back then. The disruptors are Netflix, Amazon, the real estate company compared to Amazon, and it is. And I think what's interesting about real estate, man, it's like anything else. Like I used to be way back when, I was in the Army for a long time, and I was doing network engineering for those guys, and I started I've always been obsessed with marketing and like SEO and branding. And I started a small company, and it was called a Seller Rank, and I'll never forget every time we like cracked the code to Google, literally they changed the algorithm. It would change something. And that's what inevitably I figured out, man, like just always change. And, I just did an interview. If you guys haven't checked out our last one, go on YouTube. We're launching the podcast soon, but with Terry Trexler. And, he's actually one of your, your leaders in this company. Man, I'll never forget that phone call we had, and he just was not ready for change. And I get it. Like, change is hard. I mean, I'm doing a solo cast probably today or tomorrow because a lot of people do know my story, but literally, I was comfortable living on the Caribbean Ocean in Puerto Rico, and you and I had that conversation, man. Like, I went to a dinner, and Will is at this company because of that dinner. It's just crazy how things fall into play. And I was listening to another workshop that I went to, and they talk about the butterfly effect, and that's things we'll talk about all this stuff. But you're right, man. And disrupting the disruptors, changing that game. And I think what I've noticed is that a lot of people so far, man, have been really open to listening to this opportunity, and just like yourself.
Right. I feel like it's like the dynamic of it, right? Because there's options.
Yep.
So where before you're kind of forced down one funnel,
Yep.
you have two choices at this point, right? So it kind of changes the game
Oh, totally, man.
for everyone,
Yep.
because then they can make the decision, hey, do I want to go down the path of actually building my real estate business, or do I have enough residual income coming in to where I can take advantage of those opportunities and maybe slow down the pace, or maybe have them maybe have some of this revenue that I'm getting offset some of my income and help me pay for my office space, or
Yep.
maybe some marketing expense, or whatever the case may be. So it's beautiful because it kind of it encompasses everybody and everybody's idea, right?
Yep, it does, man. And you nailed it. Like whether you go the business builder route where you save more money and can put more money back into your business, or you go the revenue share partner route with us where you start creating passive income, which does fuel your business, your life. I'll never forget, man, when I first joined, when I was looking at EXP Realty back in the day, and I was sitting at Walgreens, a drugstore nationwide, and there was a gentleman in front of me saying he was retiring. He's been working for 32 years and he was finally retiring. He's like, man, I get this $1,800 check every single month for the rest of my life. And I'm going, shit, 1,800, that would do a lot for me right now. That would have paid my car note, that would have paid my house note at that time, And then now with these companies, and again, like, yes, is this an LPT powered podcast YouTube channel? Absolutely. But guys, look, these companies out here that offer you some type of incentive for helping them grow, you need to embrace those, especially the ones I got. Like, obviously, I'm going to tell you about LPT because I believe we bring a lot more marketing to the table and
Right.
things like that. But you're doing the job. I mean, Will, you were selling real estate. You were talking to other agents. I've spoke to so many agents. Like, man, how many people in the last 25 years have you gotten into real estate? And they're like, oh shit, I don't know, cousins, aunts, uncles, friends of friends. And I'm like, how have you benefited from that?
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, they don't, because even as great as these companies are that have created the revenue share model plans, they're still barely over 150,000. You got Keller Williams sitting at close to 200,000 agents with
Right.
profit share, which is really cool and great, but it's not like this revenue share model. And it truly is. And again, what I love, Will, about LPT is that you don't have to do it.
Right.
You don't.
Here's the other thing a lot of people don't realize is the opportunity. It's not just like, obviously revenue share is great and all. It's like a bonus for us. On top of that, the stock options, right?
Yep.
But a lot of people don't realize is these companies are eating away at your hard earned cash. And I
Totally.
think that hurts a lot of people. I know agents that are with certain companies, they take like this fee, that fee, franchise fees on top of that. And then on top of that, they're getting coaching taken out as well.
Yep.
They end up with like 40-30%.
Yep.
And that's not super beneficial. Another thing for team leaders that are trying to switch over, I found it super awesome because my brother-in-law is a team leader. You could pass that 100% model onto your agents that you bring on. And it's not like these other companies where the team leader takes their split and then they're losing that percentage from the company as well. They're just taking a really small fee here at LPT. So like it'd be easier to get people that you can help on your team.
Yep.
And it's an easier model to explain,
Well, it is, because with teams, I've ran teams for a long time, man. I can tell you my retention was almost zero because at Keller Williams, it's a 36-64 split. And then they were paying me a 50-50 split on my team. And,
right.
I think that could have been adjusted a better way, but it's a lot of damn money. It's a lot, and that's what, when I first met with Robert, and I've talked about this numerous times, when he was telling me his vision of bringing this company to 200,000 agents, I was like, man, Robert, what the hell are you talking about, man? No one's done it. And he's like, yeah, but no one's did this dual compensation model where we give agents a choice. And I was like, holy shit, when he laid that out. And then as a team leader, as a team owner, man, if you can't attract agents and also take your split, because that's the hardest part is agents join a team, they do the company split, 80-20 split typically, and then they have to pay you 25, 35, 45, 50, whatever your model is.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it tough. And then what happens? I mean, it is literally like clockwork. That agent gets tired of splitting the money with you. They go do their own thing. 9 times out of 10, they get a little confidence that they can run their own team and do it, and then they're out the business,
Right.
sooner than later. So
Or there's
this
somewhere
company
else, right?
somewhere
There's
else.
somewhere else. Well,
Yep.
think about this. Here's a great way to think about it. Let's say, for instance, you are a team leader, you have somebody on your team. They could still be on your team. I think Terry calls it a modern team.
Yep.
They could still be on your team. And what's more than 100%?
Yep.
I don't know anything more than that.
No.
So it gives you more opportunities for those people to stay. And if they decide to come back, great. If not, no big deal. They're still a part of you. You can still help them, you know. So it's a game. I'm telling you, it's such
Well,
a game changer.
you said something, Will, and I talk about this a lot because a lot of people will say, "Hey, Anthony, well, I'm never going to join that company because I'm not paying anyone any money." And I asked them if I could show you a way that this real estate company will pay you to work for them, would you be interested in finding out more? Because you said, "Oh, I don't know of anything that pays 100% more or more than 100%."
Right.
Actually, this company does.
Right. Right.
If
Right.
you
Right.
look at
Right.
the amount of money, like at EXP, man, when I was there, the amount of money I was spending per year to be in the company versus what I was making because of the company, it was a no brainer, dude. I was like
Right.
3, 4, 500%. Same thing with LPT. Yes, as a business builder with us, you cannot earn revenue share. So meaning you're paying $500 per transaction, $5,000 cap. Okay. But you can build a revenue share downline. And then when you get to a certain point, you will switch to the revenue share partner and then you can start making the money. And that's the
Right.
pure genius in this one. I believe is that you're not. I literally sat with Robert Palmer at dinner, and he looking at agent face to face across from him from the table, and he says, "Don't pay me more money. Go with the business builder. Build your business first, then switch over." That flexible compensation plan, man. You said it earlier, Will, a couple of times. That's the difference.
Right.
That flexible, giving agents a choice. There's so many agents that are sitting at all these other companies that are literally paying 15, 16, $25,000 caps in the concept, oh, they could do revenue share, and they don't.
Right. Right.
Well, man,
Eh,
look, I know the company's badass. Obviously, we know, man. That's why we're both here. And look, and thank you for getting on this call with me. Man, I wanted to talk to you about your business, man, because I spoke to you. We've been in business for a few months now, and I'll never forget. I was in Panama City downtown getting a coffee, and I don't remember how we got on a phone call, but we started talking, and you do what I used to love, and I say used to love. I used to love making phone calls. I was that guy. I prided myself on being the outlier, making 10,000 hours to mastery calls, and I've done the multiples of $10,000 in sales calls, and it's kind of a forbidden fruit right now, maybe a
right.
lost art. People are kind of getting away from it, and maybe talk about that, man, because you're succeeding at it, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I feel like a lot of this is taken from whatever I talk about is taken from probably my coach, Brandon Mulrennan. But I mean, honestly, I couldn't see nothing more sustainable than calling people that are actually raising their hand and
Yep.
saying, "Hey, I want to sell my house." I couldn't find anything more valuable than that.
Well,
So
what for sale by owner stands for, right, Will?
what's that?
Fastest source of business opportunity.
There you go. So
Yeah.
I actually started with for sale by owners, even though they
Yep.
were selling like hotcakes here in Florida. I started with them. First year, I sold about 22 homes, and a percentage of those were for sale by owners.
Nice.
And then the second year, about the same. And then this year, I started diving into expired cancels because that market kind of switched on us, and now there's more
Really?
houses on the market. So all these people are raising their hands saying they want to move. The expired cancels are the ones that are raising their hand and they're willing to actually pay a commission.
Right.
They just weren't able to do it the first time.
Think about that,
So
dude. And people do. They get in their mind that they're bothering people when they do this. But literally, you just nailed it, bro. That person had their house on the market. That person is comfortable with working with a real estate agent, and that person, it's really cool. When I used to see the expireds, and we see a 6% commission. It's
right,
game on.
right,
And part of my script was like, oh, well, what are you going to do differently than the last agent did and all that stuff? Yeah, yeah. Well, man, look, I'm going to charge you 8%. If I charge you 8% and I get the home sold, do you care? No, I do not. Okay, let's go.
right. Right, right. So it's awesome because the opportunity of you being able to control your business more. I work hard from Monday through Friday. I'm here on a Sunday. I do work on Sundays sometimes just because it's in my nature to work hard
Yep.
lately. Took a while to get here, obviously, but ultimately, I just couldn't believe like how easier it was to have real estate conversations over the phone. Then all of a sudden, I'm presenting myself in person, and then the next step is obviously selling the home. So I'm selling myself almost three times: the appointment, in person, and then I'm selling the house. So I think that was pretty cool. And I love sales. I'm just like, I don't know.
Right?
I'm a sales guy. I'm a
Yep.
sales
Yep.
nerd. And so it's no different than inbound leads if you think about it. Inbound lead is
I
still a
know.
cold call.
Yep.
A lot of people don't see it that way. But yeah, definitely probably one of my most favorite lead sources: expired, cancels, and FISBOs. Getting into circle dialing now. I'm taking a probate course. But ultimately I'm just dialing it in. And ever since then, I like, especially joining LPT, it was favorable for me to go down this path because I had listings that I wasn't leveraging, because they
Yep.
say out of every listing, I think it's every, you correct me if I'm wrong, you should get two buyers and
Or
one
two.
seller.
Yeah. I mean, two buyers or sellers from every single listing that you have. Absolutely. And that doesn't
Right.
even include your database. That doesn't include a lot of other variables in listings, And then I talk about listings all the time, man. That's why I love LPT, stands for Listing Power Tools. I was
Right.
really tugged at my heartstrings on that one. But you're right. So you started generating business from it, and maybe tell everybody, Will, like, hey, you're a listing agent, you take listings, maybe talk about some of the tools that we get for free as LPT agents.
So the beauty of LPT definitely was, we'll start with the CRM. Currently using Chime, love it to death. It's an IDX website, gives you the opportunity to hit touch points that you'll never hit with any other CRM, because it integrates with the MLS, where you can keep those people up to date with what's being sold, pending,
Yep.
and listed. Right. On top of that, it also has obviously where you could drip on people and all that great stuff. So I found that very valuable, because I could keep people in one place and actually see what they're doing, completely free to us.
Yep.
The second thing was listing power tools. I mean, honestly, I never in my mind thought I would door knock in my life.
Right.
I was nervous about it. It just takes so long to produce all those, you know, pictures
Yeah.
and stuff like that, designing it in Canva. This is like a no-brainer. It's just like fill in the blank. Like, here, put three pictures or four pictures, the best ones, and then go. Along with that, the technology involved with it for capturing these leads with phone numbers that are dedicated to you, so you know where it came from.
Yep.
Just a plethora of tools that are absolutely free, especially for me. I'm here at ground zero where LPT started. I
Yeah.
could go pick up the listing power tools
The
box
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 right
if I
there.
wanted to. It won't even
Yep.
cost me $20, you know. But yeah, it's free. It's $20 shipping to your house, at
Yep.
least here in Florida or
Yeah. It's about the
Orlando it
same
is.
for us. Yeah.
I
Yep.
think it's in Texas as well, and those other states.
Yep.
But the opportunity is huge, because now I'm putting my name all over the place. Then they have mailers as well that we could send out. So imagine this: you get a listing, you have a sign writer on the sign, you have your sign, you have inside the house, you have documentation discussing the neighborhood, and also just a whole bunch of small flyers and stuff like that. You door hang, door knock, then after that, you close the house, and then you send mailers. Like,
Mhm.
how much more can you
Man,
touch the
it's,
neighborhood than that? You know what I mean?
that's what, the concept of this podcast, man, has been making agents great again. And literally, I believe, and Terry and I spoke about this, and I'm screaming from the rooftops, man. I think not that agents didn't weren't great, but literally they kind of lost their way, man. It was easy to sell real estate. You've been in the business for 3 years. You kind of know what it was. It was easier, and now things have shifted and changed, and it's really cool. I hear so many agents, Will, telling me it's hard. I'm barely surviving. I can't, I don't know what I'm doing. Meanwhile, you and I were talking before we started. You've doubled your business. You're going to 10 million in volume this year.
Right.
I mean, what? Obviously, it's not just LPT. You have a crazy work ethic. You're doing things that a lot of people are not willing to do. But man, how'd you do that? Because I'm gonna tell you, bro. I've talked to 10 agents this week, maybe, and they're all telling me how bad they're struggling.
Right. It didn't take, it wasn't easy to get here. I had a huge difficulty with complacency, and it took me a while to get past that, because honestly, I wasn't used to making what I was making, especially with this company. I'm not
Yep.
giving anything up. I'm keeping most of it for myself.
Yep.
So I had this struggle with complacency. And then after that, I had to learn how to get back into the role of just being like act like I'm always broke, because if I don't, then I won't struggle. Then I won't fight for what me and my family want.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I think that's what it took, along with using these tools that are being provided to me and maximizing them to the most benefit, so I could leverage more opportunity. And I think that was huge for me.
Well,
So
you
so
said
yeah,
that, man. I
yeah.
mean, using the tools. I mean, just like you said, it's a Sunday. Most people are taking their time off right now, bro. You're in the office. That's something that I literally did too, man. I'd be the first one I see you're in. I don't know if that's your home office or is that's a corporate office,
This
but
is our hub. This is
it's your hub.
LPT hub. Yep.
LPT hub. There you go, man. Look, in Orlando, let's go. But with that said, you got to show up. You got to do it. There's many days that even myself, man, it was like, I think that's why I got addicted to coffee. Because I was like, I got to get my ass up. I got to go make these phone calls. I got to be in the right mindset and go after it and do it. And still, I could tell you with myself shifting back into real estate sales, because over the last 4 or 5 years, I really got away from it. I built a nice size organization, got away from sales, but it's really cool, man. Now that I'm getting back into sales, I mean, my organization is 5X now in my previous company, which is great. And just putting in that work, doing it. And it's neat. I believe it's neat, man, is that when you're making these phone calls to these listings, and you literally have probably mentioned it to them, right, about the listing power. Are you familiar with our listing power toolbox?
Yeah.
And
Right.
you're in Orlando, so I'm just curious, how many people say yes?
Not many.
Right.
It's kind of funny, because it's the way you present yourself,
Yep.
in many ways will ultimately help you. I'm very, the way I present is based on obviously the person's personality. That's one, and two, it's also based on the market. I'm really educated on the market. I don't
Got to,
stop
man.
learning. I
You
think
got
that's
to
the
be
biggest
an
thing.
expert.
Yeah,
That's
you have to. You have
dude,
to. A lot of agents, like, they don't look into that stuff. Like,
they
I'm not
don't.
even a mortgage officer, and I have a mortgage app in my phone. You know what I
Nice.
mean? Because that's the big topic right now.
Yep.
So it's just things like that that are going to help you grow and become better at your job. At the end of the day, that's how I treat this. This is my job.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
a
same thing as if I
overall,
put
you treat
somebody
it
to call on the phone for 100,000. If I told you you can make $100,000 if I put you on the phone right now, I'll pay you.
yep.
People will do it right away, right?
Yep.
But if we have to put it on ourselves to do it, we'll never do it. So that's how I treat it.
Bro, that what I used to coach for years, man. And I'd ask people, I'd say, hey, Will, man, if I paid you $200,000 a year, you have to show up from 8 o'clock and you go home at 5, and your job is to make phone calls and communicate with people. $200,000 a year. Rarely has someone told me no.
Right.
And I said, look, man, I'm kind of a hard ass. Like, no lunch break, no nothing. I'm gonna pay you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pay you $250,000 a year. Would you take this job? They say, hell yeah, I would. Okay. And then when you do the math, if I put you on the phones for 8, 9 hours a day, even if you were the worst lead generator converter in the world, you would probably generate 5 leads for me per month. That would put me at 60 listings per year. You know how much money I would make? I'd probably make close to $1 million. Well, I'm glad you write you a check for 250,000 right now. But the
Right.
fact is that people won't do it for themselves. I literally, one of my coaching things was I would do the math and I would ask them how much are you worth an hour? And agents didn't know. I mean, literally, if you sell, you make $1 million a year or $500,000 a year, it's a lot of money per hour. And I'd be like, hey, dude, if I paid you $1,000 an hour right now, would you shovel that big pile of cow shit? And they go, for $1,000 an hour, yeah, I'd do it. But you won't make phone calls.
Right.
But you won't lead generate. You won't prospect. You won't go out and meet people. I mean, literally, bro, it's kind of crazy. And I get it that certain people are scared a little bit to do it. But that's what's really cool about, LPT right now, man, is that when they join this company, they partner with us. And we can tell these things to them, help them,
Right.
guide them through this. And that's where I love the concept of these companies to help people get out of that mindset.
Right, right. And another thing that kind of forces us to get out of our comfort zone is these power packs, man,
Yep.
because you're getting to the door and you're talking and having interaction. There's nothing bigger than face to face.
Face to face.
So when I saw this new power pack that came out, I actually have a video on it on my YouTube channel, The Relentless Agent. It talks about like the oversized door hangers that have your active marketing plan on there. Things of that nature are going to get more people, you more in touch with more people. You could do that once a month in your neighborhood,
Yep. Yep.
compound it for 6 months, and all of a sudden you're the neighborhood expert.
Yep. Dude,
People don't think about those things.
they don't. It's like, we have a mastermind we do every morning at 8 a.m. Central Time. And it started when I started reading The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And literally, one of the things I asked everybody, would you call, and we primarily talk about agent attraction. We do talk about sales and branding, and I want to get into that with you. But I was like, what if you called one agent every single day for 365 days? And they were like, well, I can do that. Everybody raised their hand. Oh, yeah, I can do that. I said, Terry Trexler. I said, Terry, you've done really good at agent attraction. Do you think you've called 365 agents ever in 1 year? And he was at the other company for 6-7 years. He said, absolutely not. But we overthought it. It's just like listings right now, dude. If somebody got on the phone, got the Mojo Dollar, Vulcan said, whatever the hell it is, and they called one listing every single day, I guarantee you, just like you did, they would 2x, 3x your business. Because I tell you, I don't know how many calls you make, Will, but mathematically, you might be making a couple hundred, a few thousand a year. I don't know. But the fact is, most, and I mean 95, 98% of real estate agents don't even make one call. And yet they expect to make money in the business.
Right.
Something I wanted to chat with you about, man, because you said knowing your market. And I believe that, man. It's one thing when I was selling in New Orleans, bro, I knew every house, this turn, the red double, shotgun double with the blue fence. I mean, that's how New Orleans rolled, So I knew it. I prided myself on knowing that, man. And I seen you've taken, on a YouTube channel, man, where you're creating content and talking about, living primarily in Central Florida. I know you're based in Orlando, man, but I do like how you thought bigger because Central Florida is so big. And one of my guys, Levi Fortner in Pensacola, he started a YouTube channel too. And he said, man, it's called Living on the Emerald Coast.
Oh, nice.
I was talking to him about you just yesterday because, yeah, my guy, Will, man, he's thinking like you. I need to connect you guys because he's like not living in Orlando, but Central Florida. So, man, talk to us about your YouTube channel, man. I know you got some, I'd like you to share about your video editing too, man. You taught me something pretty cool the other day.
Right. So, recently I've seen a lot of people. I'm in a coaching program, like I said earlier, and they're all taking on YouTube, and I've seen them do really well with it. Some of them we've had conversations about. And so I thought about it and I was like, man, in outbound prospecting is probably marginally the most you can make because it's very little upfront. And then, if you convert, it pays for it probably 20-fold, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Same thing with YouTube. YouTube is 100% free. They're paying you to put your videos in front of people so they could get the advertisements out there. So I thought, man, the combination of the two would be crazy. So my idea behind it was to work on the buyer side with that channel and attract people to get to know me before they actually know me. So that was the whole purpose behind it. I'm not scared to get in front of the camera, and I don't think anybody should in 2023. It should be something that's very natural. Actually, that's why I'm here today working. Besides getting pictures taken for a listing that's coming up, I also film my content. So what I'm doing is I'm filming content and I'm just filming it. And then I'm sending it off to an editor and they're just taking care of it from there. And the reason why I did that was because what held me back from making content was the editing. Because a lot of people don't know this, but it takes about 4 or 5 hours to edit a video, right? So I took that advantage, and now I'm trying to work on that, grow that, and that way I can inform people about the business, and then also follow up with my database. That's another way of following up. I can send a mass email to everybody, let them know what's going on in the area, and then just continue growing from there. So that's the ultimate plan, and I'm going to still prospect. I love prospecting. I'll probably always prospect. I'm a weirdo. A lot of people do it to quit, but I'll probably keep on doing
The
it.
really cool thing about what you're doing, though, Will, is that as you continue to prospect, as you continue to build that YouTube channel, it becomes part of your message. Something I learned a long time ago is collect stories like baseball cards. And it was a really neat concept because you're telling a story. And literally, you're going to get to a certain point, man, where you're making that outbound phone call and Bob's selling his house, in Orlando. And you're like, hey, Bob, guess what, buddy? If you list with me, you will be featured on, Orlando Living, your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh man, well, I don't know what that is, but guess what? You do. And then even the cooler part is you're building this list. So you take this list, that Central Florida YouTube channel is now your media hub.
Right.
If you build this properly with top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, bro, you will create a monster of a business, over the course of time. Because you're taking two things that are really successful in real estate agents' careers.
Right.
Outbound cold call prospecting, man, for sale by owners, expires, withdrawals. And right now, leading the charge, guys, is YouTube.
Right. You look at the second biggest search engine on the internet.
Bro, and that's exactly it. It's not like people, it's funny, man. I get on people all the time. They create these awesome videos and they post it on Facebook. And I'm like, do you realize that no one is going on Facebook and saying, buy a home in Orlando? They're not.
Right.
And they don't see this crazy video that you spent all this money on because they're not your damn friend on Facebook. Like, literally, you don't see it. But people are like not thinking that way. Meanwhile, you got YouTube out there. It's a search engine. Guys, if you don't know, like, TubeBuddy, do yourself a huge favor. Go and get TubeBuddy and go look at the analytics. Okay. You will quickly have your mind blown. Then you go look and see what these guys are doing, like Will, like these other people all across America that are creating these channels. I met a gentleman I was in Tampa the other day, Daniel, and he has a home for sale Dallas channel. Guys, this dude's taking $1 million listings left and right now. He's got 33,000 followers on his channel. He was showing his videos were getting anywhere from 30,000 views to 150,000 views. You know how easy it is for that guy to get a listing now?
Right. It establishes online presence.
Yeah. It's your social proof.
Right.
And this guy's now and he's like, Anthony, I'm having fun doing this. That's all I do now. And get this, he's making money via the YouTube channel.
Right.
It's another income source. But again, people need to put in the time, the work. They expect it to be
consistency is everything in this business. I think a lot of people miss that. It's kind of funny. I was just thinking, I'm all of a sudden turning 100% Robert Palmer LPT and not even noticing, because they also give us opportunity to get on radio. And what better way to create your own radio opportunity is like platforms like this, podcasts, or maybe even YouTube channels, because you're getting the word out to a lot of people.
Well, that's what, I love that you said that, because these media outlets, TV, radio, print, mail, okay, those things are always going to work in real estate. Agents have gotten it. Like, agents think posting on Facebook, they're busy. But you get into TV, radio, and that's what I liked about LPT, which stood out to me, is that they took these traditional marketing elements that worked. If you literally read any of the data out there, look at 7 levels of communication in the book, it works. Okay. Getting in front of people, doing events. Well, they've literally taken these traditional old, real estate things that we know work and modified them a little bit and made them a little more modern. Like, literally, I had somebody the other day say, oh man, Anthony, that's just a box. Yeah. Okay. You believe that? Well, guess what? If you look at statistics on direct mail and then belly to belly, because it's not just it is just a box. If that box sits in your car and you never send it to anybody or go door knock at anything, yes, it is just a box.
Right.
But however you embrace it, and you're right, man. And the billboards, like us getting billboards across, everywhere right now. We just opened up Texas and now we have the billboards there. The radio. You get into the podcasting world. Literally, YouTube has replaced TV to a certain extent, and podcasts have replaced radio.
Right.
Okay. Yet those two things still work.
One of the first things I noticed when the market shifted was a lot of people went back to basics. And I feel like that's what it was.
Dude, that's why we launched this company right now.
Right.
We launched it during this time back to the basics. Absolutely.
Because it was
100%.
easier before.
Yeah, it was. I mean, dude, well,
You
they
walk
didn't
outside,
have
I'm buying a house, I'm buying a house, I'm
right.
selling
And
one,
oh
I'm
yeah,
selling.
if you're an agent, you put it on the MLS, and the thing sold in a minute. And now those people who truly didn't get a skill set during that time, they're hurting. I know agents. I speak to agents that literally was selling 10 and $20 million over the last 5 years that now are hurting.
Wow.
Okay. And it's crazy. Well, again, Will, it's putting in the work.
Yeah.
You
No, it
2x
makes
your
sense.
business while most people are minus 2x in their business.
Yeah, it's crazy. I thought about that the other day. Wow, look how much I'm starting to track my numbers. I know you love that.
Yep.
And I noticed, I was like, dang man, that's how much I made. I made that in 1 year last year and the year
Yep.
before that. This is my
Yep.
best year yet. And I guess I've been waiting for this moment, I guess, because I've been doing traditional
You're not
things
waiting, bro.
forever.
You're wrong in that statement. You're not.
No,
You're
what I mean is like
toward this, man.
the opportunity blew
Yep.
up for me more than ever. You know
Yep.
what I mean? More than ever, which is crazy. It's crazy.
Oh man, it is, and I can tell you that that's what I believe. I mean, you look at that excitement in your eyes. You know, you and I talk often, man. I know you're fired up, and that's what I think a lot of real estate agents need to meet with us, man, and find out how truly LPT is going to make real estate agents great again. The fire's been lit. We got all these amazing tools. Literally, if you don't know if you're a real estate agent and you're somewhat struggling, even if you're a successful real estate agent and run a massive team and things aren't clicking the way they are, man, get with us. You can go to makingagentsgreatagain.com. Okay. Just fill out the paperwork. If you see and you like Will on there, I got on in there. You can literally say, I saw Will. I want to chat with him. We'll set up a call and get to know you guys better, man. Because look, you want to get on this train, guys. We're having fun. Again, I can tell you what, 4 months ago, Will, I had no clue who you are, man, who you were. And now we talk often. And that's the beauty of something like this. I consider this guy like if I go speak to someone down the street, yeah, my business partner in Orlando, and it sounds cool. Like damn, I was on the beach earlier. I'm talking to a guy. He's like, man, what do you do? I said, man, I run a national real estate team. I got about 700 agents in my organization. And he's like, wait, what? And he goes, oh, that's why you live on Rosemary Beach. No, that's not the case, bro. Because that, other shit led me there. But the fact is, it's really cool. And think about that, guys. Will can now say, yeah, I'm a member of an organization that's 700 agents in 7 states. And by the way, man, get ready. Nevada, July 6th. We're going on it. So guys, if you're a real estate agent watching this, you're in Nevada, get with Will, get with me. We'd love to introduce you to this opportunity. And Will, anything else you want to wrap up with today?
Yeah, man. I just want to say that joining a business like this has created a very interesting thing with real estate agents that work together, even across the nation. We're able to open up our books and kind of show the way to make sure that people are successful because we're mutually beneficial to your success. And I think that's what makes these kind of models really powerful. I mean, obviously you have to get up and do the work, but ultimately it's cool because I get to open my book up. Anthony gets to open his, and he's like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, me too. This is another avenue you can hit, and vice versa. So I feel like we're all working together.
When I first got into real estate, man, and we were running really successful sales teams, and I was never really open. I know it was at Keller Williams, and the team leader would always ask me, hey, can you come share this, come share it? I always held back. Like literally, like I'd go teach some things, but I always held back. And that's the really cool part about this is that, that abundance mentality. Now I share it all, even with people who are not directly that I'm in business with,
Right, me too. Yep.
Because we're building something amazing together, man. It's like, I talk often about, like a skyscraper. When a skyscraper is built, man, the foundation has to be really solid. It's got to go really deep. And for example, like the Freedom Towers, I'll never forget, man, I went and visited New York when the Freedom Tower was being built. And bro, they used to be able to look through a hole and see, what they were doing below the surface. And bro, that thing goes like down a mile. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about that, man, is you don't see that work. And that's what we're building right here. We're building this foundation. And I can tell you guys, mark my word, in 3 to 5 years, bro, we're going to have the biggest, baddest organization I think real estate's ever saw. And they're going to forget about the work we did up front. So right now, I can tell you guys, if you're willing to put in the work, do some of the dirty work, help us get this company off the ground, launch Nevada, okay? Because look, literally, Nevada's coming. We are looking for real estate agents to take the reins with us in that state. So if you again have interest, man, go check out makingagentsgreatagain.com, and we would love to work with you.
Right.
All right, Will. Look, good job, buddy.
All right,
Appreciate it.
man.
Enjoy your
Take
Sunday.
care.
We'll
Thanks
talk
for the
soon, man.
opportunity. Take care. Bye-bye.